We're going to be on television tonight, 7 o'clock Central, every weeknight. What a commitment we have engaged in. InfoWars Nightly News. We have several extremely informative guests that I'll tell you about at the end of the show today. They're going to be joining us. We've got several very important news packages we're producing. I mean, this is real news that we're engaged in. And we've put a huge investment into it. We couldn't have done this without Infowars.com supporters, the visitors to the site, folks that support our advertisers, people that click on our sponsors, folks that buy books, T-shirts, videos at Infowars.com. PrisonPlanet.tv is really growing. And now you can go to the site by going to InfoWarsNews.com. And in the next 6 months or so, I got a couple other projects I'm about to launch. We're going to have a whole new news site. I mean, you see the look of the new pages that we've put together at InfoWarsNews.com. There's going to be a whole news site with a whole bunch of other functions there at PrisonPlanet.tv. We're going to begin migrating, not away from PrisonPlanet.tv, but with a whole new site. And so when you join one site, you're a member with both. That's basically what we're going to move towards, or some other system similar to that, where you join one site and then, you know, get a passcode for the other. The point is, I believe in having multiple systems, multiple backups, but also variations to them. That's always been my gut instinct with media operations, and it's held us in good stead. We have had TV and different cable systems and folks interested in carrying a show, but I'm not ready yet. We're in the beta testing mode, and you see all that at PrisonPlanet.tv. We're getting a lot of new members. It looks good. Looks like we're on target to be able to continue our expansion if you continue to support us. So please, buy the great stainless steel water filters at Infowars.com, made in America. Buy the books, buy the videos, buy the materials, and spread the word about the show, and it's a win-win-win. You get materials to raise your awareness to a higher level, then you can pass on the book or the DVD or make copies of my films or air them on Access Television or show them to your church or show them to your neighbor. Every person you wake up is invaluable in the fight against tyranny. But then it also makes our operation possible when you buy a water filter, a T-shirt, a ball cap, a video. And then all of it helps get the word out because it finances the radio show, the TV show, the media, the research, the graphics people, all of it. We are well above. We've got like 34 people now. That is a big nut to crack at the end of each month. But we're doing it. We also did something very, very exciting, and I'm going back to finish with Webster Tarpley and then your calls and a bunch of news. I'm sick of flying. And I'm sick of having my friends and family groped in front of me. And so I try to not drive. I try to not fly. But still I have to sometimes in the interest of time. And people want me to travel and speak at radio stations. They want me to get on the road more. You know what? I'm going to announce it later in the week. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll announce it later in the week. It's just that I am going to be doing more road trips, more speaking engagements. You want it, you got it. Okay? Just going to leave it at that. I'll be doing the TV show from the road. I mean, we've got a vehicle, and I'm going to turn it into a communications hub. And we've got some ground transportation. I'll just leave it at that. Now we need to buy the equipment for it and get it all retrofitted and everything. It's a nice bus / RV, but it looks like something out of a topless bar on the inside. And it's pretty racy on the outside, but it was the best deal we could get. It's definitely a Millennium Falcon level. It's great, but it's also, kind of, it's like 11 years old and definitely a pimp game type vehicle. So I've got and I'm not a flashy person, but it was the cheapest one we could get that had the quality. All right, side issue. Going to Tarpley. Tarpley, this is really unspeakably wild because it's backed up by what you witnessed. It's backed up by Reuters, even Washington Post, even Al Jazeera that's pro-war has had to admit, yeah, there's piles of dead black people everywhere, women, children, men. They take them out and kill them, even though, of course, there's black Libyans. And you reported on that going on in the East months and months ago. It was confirmed, hanging black men from lamp poles. But we now have a well-known, respected former U.S. congressman or delegate from the District of Columbia, but technically a congressman, Walter Fauntroy, said that he had to hide out for a month, that he was presumed dead, for those that didn't know, and that he was having to hide out and took him a month to get out because blacks were being killed on the spot. And we know even Anglo reporters were being sniped and shot by al-Qaeda and NATO forces. This is a new level of war crime. But I guess because Obama is heading it up, there won't be any war crime charges because he's the man of peace, because he was given that Peace Prize.
I think it's a tremendous embarrassment now for Obama in the black community to have an eyeball witness of the moral authority and historical stature of Delegate Fauntroy. That's going to be something Obama will have to deal with. It's going to hurt him a lot. The other thing is, these are the new vandals, right? The new al-Qaeda rulers of Libya are like the vandals. Those were the ones, they came out of Asia. They went all the way around through Spain and into North Africa. They took over Libya, and then they started taking over Sicily and Sardinia and Corsica, and that's who sacked Rome in 476. Right? That's the end of the empire. So what you're going to have is al-Qaeda pirates in the Mediterranean, and just a couple of examples. There's this guy Salabi, right? We just went through Belhaj. Belhaj is bad enough. Salabi came out a couple of days ago. He's another one of these terrorist commanders who's now, the boss of Libya, and he says that the former Gaddafi ministers in the Benghazi Rebel Council are no longer acceptable to the killers. In other words, the gunmen want to get rid of these former Gaddafi guys, and that means Jalil is the head of state, and Jibril is the head of government, the guy who pals around with Hillary Clinton. And it sounds to me like they're getting ready to eliminate those two. This guy, Salabi and Belhaj, those guys are prime suspects, along with Hifter, in the killing of Yunus, right? The military commander of the rebels was assassinated a little bit more than a month ago now, and there were unconfirmed reports over the weekend that Jalil had been assassinated, that the head of state of the rebels had simply been gunned down.
Yeah, so the rebels are busy killing each other, and al-Qaeda is starting to knock people out so they can fully take over. And undoubtedly, the West is going to be very proud of that and think that the public has no memory. And in a couple of years, we'll be having to give up our liberties and invade Libya again to battle al-Qaeda. And they'll probably even claim that al-Qaeda is working for Gaddafi or something.
Here's another scenario. You get the al-Qaeda regime in Libya to invade Algeria, and then the U.S. invades Algeria to protect them from al-Qaeda, or some variation on that. Because remember, Algeria is now a target. That's another big country, big oil producer, very valuable place. Algeria has not supported the al-Qaeda rebellion in Libya at all, and the U.S. is furious. They always wanted to overthrow Algeria. Algeria has 50,000 Chinese workers, and the U.S. and the British want them kicked out. So Algeria, big target in the coming weeks.
Very interesting, Webster. But again, is there any way to start some type of war crimes movement for the racial genocide going on? But I mean, that's naive. The UN ran the Ivory Coast invasion that killed tens of thousands, and admittedly, their rebel forces were slaughtering people en masse. This is truly a criminal group drenched in blood at every level.
I think that stopping the support of al-Qaeda and stopping this imperialist interference should become an important program point in an emerging mass strike movement. And again, if we have the collapse of the European banking system over the next 2 months, which I think is more than likely, that will soon be followed by a banking panic in the United States. And then we will need to implement a recovery program and the mass strike, right? What began in Wisconsin in February, I think will come back on a much larger scale after having gone underground for 6 months or whatever it's been. And at that point, this will be some demand that can be raised. I don't, and 9/11. 9/11 also gets fed into that. In other words, we want to stop the drills, stop the totalitarianism, stop false flag attacks, And that's part of the general movement to break the power of the Wall Street finance oligarchy, because that's the enemy, that's the goal. Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. Fight bankers. That's the great point.
Webster Tarpley, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your analysis.
Bye-bye, Alex. Congratulations on your program.
Oh, the television show? Thank you, Webster.
Yeah, right.
Well, I hope people spread the word about the TV show because it really is going to reach millions and millions of people. It's already reaching. Well, it's already reached a couple million. We've been posting most of the nightly news a day later on the Alex Jones channel at prisonplanet.tv. So it's being posted at prisonplanet.tv immediately. It's being restreamed after it first airs. But then it is also being posted over on the YouTube channel. Now, in the future, we're not going to post all of it. We're going to post highlights on the YouTube channel because we have to wean ourselves away from YouTube to a certain point because they are censoring people more and more. They are trying to restrict our accounts more and more. And so we've got to more and more focus on building up our own operation so that we can also capitalize and produce more shows that can then be deployed to different cable systems and satellite systems. And again, we're not going to be on the big marquee channels like Fox or whatever, but we will be here and there on systems reaching millions of people globally. So it's just another Hydra head that we're growing to attack the New World Order.